The breaking news ticker for boxing. It still looks like the David Morell and Amon Katia fight is still on, but who knows? Hopefully it's still on. It's one of my lock of the weeks. Hopefully everyone's doing well. Hopefully you caught my first live stream this morning. If not, welcome to the second live stream. Guys, I also just uploaded Alberto Puello versus Subaru Matias, my breakdown, analysis, and prediction. If you're new to the channel and you want to see my edited, uninterrupted breakdown, analysis, and prediction videos, go to my playlists, find fight predictions. Hit the bell notification button so you can be notified when those get uploaded. I do those pretty much every day leading up until fight night. So we have a lot of fights this weekend. The breaking news we woke up this morning to, obviously, the two big drug flags. You know, Amon Katiev, allegedly he's been not allowed to fight since 2024. That's the insane bit. When you read the report from Amon Katiev, I posted about it last night. When you read about it, it's pretty insane to see that he's actually not been allowed to fight since 2024. The boys just were like, hey, you know, I guarantee Jim, I reached out to Jim Cambosis. He didn't reply back yet. But, you know, he's Facebook friends with me on Facebook. So usually I go back and forth with him. That's George's dad. That's Amon Katiev's manager. And he hasn't gotten back to me because it's like, bro, they knew he couldn't fight from 2024, and he still fought Derval Palacio. And David Morell is kind of just saying, hey, I don't care about that. He still wants to fight. We'll see what the New York State Athletic Commission does. Now, the drug testing agency, the International IDT, I think they're calling it, they're not really, I don't think they're kind of, what's the word? I don't think it's a universal drug testing plan. It's not like WADA or VADA. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully that fight still goes down. And then obviously Francisco Rodriguez Jr., we spoke about that all morning on our first live stream. So if you want to bring that up again, we can. But moving forward, we got a lot of fights to talk about. If the rumor, we'll address, so if the rumor was true that he was injured going into the Sandor Martin fight, I always say this, guys, whether we're watching boxing, whether we're watching jiu-jitsu, MMA, whatever, probably even throw any pro sport in there, guys, but specifically combat sports. Throw the NBA, throw American football, throw baseball, but specifically combat sports, boxing. I don't think any fighter, any athlete is going into the fight 100%, okay? I've already bet on Puello. I broke down Puello. I like Puello. If he was injured against Sandor Martin, he still got the win. You know, that's just, you know, a kind of feather in his cap. But he's a good boxer. He's a good boxer. And Matias they both do what they do really well. I would just call Matias a bit more one-dimensional. I think Matias' path to victory is a bit more limited. I mean, it's a 50-50 fight for a reason. Go to your sports book right now. It's been a while since I can remember odds being released at the beginning of the week and then them staying constant all the way through the week. And this has literally been a coin flip since Monday. They're both on my book at $1.96. 100 on either guy, Matias or Puello, gets you your money back plus 96 bucks. The reason why that is the app I use forces me to bet a three-way odds. So if there's a draw, I lose my bet. But I think that's burned me once. So I like the three-way. The odds get a little bit juicier. I do like an upset this weekend. So Skeezy, there's a lot of rumors with this ring thing. All right, we'll get to the ring in a second. I'm going to answer Ola. So I actually kind of chimed into Gary's live stream today from 3D Boxing. And before he went live, him and I were chatting offline about, you know, a potential upset on the main, you know, in both New York cards, the females and the males. I really haven't looked too much into the pro box card, but I'm talking about the female card. And we both agreed I could see Sharita Metcalf using her jab, using her length, using her boxing acumen to beat Shanika Johnson. Right now, and I've already made that bet. So what I'm doing on my channel, if you guys are new, a new feature, you could join the Boxing Insider. It's an exclusive. It's a couple bucks a month. What it gets you is it's a separate group to it's on YouTube, so you don't have to leave the YouTube app, but you'll get my locks of the weeks. I'm doing my lock of the week, upset of the week, long parlay will all go to the Boxing Insider VIPs. And I really like, at this moment, Metcalf to be one of them. I have 2 upsets I'm working on. I think Metcalf should get it done. I'm pretty confident. But check your book, see what you got. Boxing fan, that's a slippery slope, mate. Look, look, guys, if you guys aren't savvy to betting, savvy to gambling, it's not something I would say get into. I'm just being honest with you. I'm being real. I'm being human to human, friend to friend here. If you have any addictive personality traits, if you struggle with drugs, if you struggle with alcohol, if you struggle with substance, if you struggle with porn, if you struggle with any sort of toxic external variable that is affecting your livelihood, affecting your mental state, don't make the bet. If it's not strictly for entertainment and value, then don't do it. But boxing fan, if you got $5 to sprinkle, have fun with it. The minute you're not having fun, don't do it. I'm a firm believer of that. Remember, I'm a coach first and foremost, everything else after. So my whole objective with my life is to help people. So if you've never gambled before and you download the app for the first time, I don't know if I would say that's a good idea. I don't have a problem with it. I had a roommate in Vegas who definitely had a problem with it. What's up, Joseph Peters? Nothing. We're just getting warmed up. 7 minutes in. We're just talking about how currently Amon Khatib and David Morell at the moment is still on. We're talking about one of the upsets I could see happening is Sharita Metcalf over Shanika Johnson. Yeah, I had one roommate in Las Vegas. I lived there for 2 years, and he moved with me from Long Beach. He was my buddy, and he only lasted in Vegas, I think, 5 months. His parents and family were from San Francisco, and I remember having to call his mom. I'm like, Mrs. So-and-so, you got to come get your son. This is insane. My old roommate would get paid. So in Vegas, if you work at one of the casinos, we both worked at the Wynn Hotel at the time. I ended up working at Planet Hollywood, but we were working at the Wynn Hotel, and we would get paid weekly. And they would pay you on a Saturday, and this was in 2011. You could take your work check to any casino. You could go to any casino and cash it, and they would cash it for you. So he would cash his at the New Orleans casino. I don't know why. The Orleans casino is such a shithole. He loved the Orleans casino. And that would be Saturday afternoon. He would cash his at the casino. I would have a bar shift at Planet Hollywood. By the time I got off of my bar shift at 11 p.m., he would be broke for the rest of the week. This was every week. The whole time I'm lending him money, and he was just such a degenerate gambler, he didn't know how to handle it. He would get paid Saturday morning. By Saturday afternoon, he was broke. And working at the Wynn Hotel, all the employees, whether you're a club promoter or a blackjack dealer, you get a Wynn Hotel security fab card. And with that, you go underneath, and they have awesome eating facilities, recreational facilities, awesome lunch rooms, stuff like that. And you would just, you could eat for free. So he would get all of his food and drinks at the Wynn Hotel and would gamble everything in 2 hours. He belongs in this chat. Hell no. If I'm picking Metcalf three-way, I like Metcalf on the money line. Why not? The odds are already juicy. On FanDuel, though, if you make a bet on a guy to stop someone, they don't give you a DQ. No, not my Sugar. So Sugar Neeks, she's a favorite for a reason, Rod. She's a favorite for a reason. I mean, who else are you going to see? I don't really see. I think those odds are pretty crazy, to be honest with you. In Sydney, in Australia, we have a handful of attractive female boxers. It's like what's the opposite of a epidemic? I used to manage Lynn Sandstrom. So YouTube or go to Lynn Sandstrom's Instagram to see what Lynn looks like. So you have Lynn Sandstrom. You have Ebony Bridges. I know she just got pregnant. She just had a kid. You had Shanika Johnson. There's like just this influx, and there's a lot more I could name without being misogynistic of attractive female boxers. And I think sometimes maybe the odds are in her favor because what she looks like. I think Sharita Metcalf is going to use her jab and win more rounds. We'll see what happens. The only other female fight I am betting on, boxing fan, is Amanda versus Katie. I'm not betting on any of those other. Hold on. Actually, one of my locks. I do like Bumgarner versus Miranda to not go the distance. So if you like that bet, Bumgarner versus Miranda to not go the distance, $2.75. And then I'm also taking a prop knockdown bet in Serrano versus Taylor, plus 0.5. I know a lot of people are playing that draw on Serrano versus Taylor. Chantel Cameron by knockout really swung. So DraftKings is the better option for betting on boxing if you're getting started because of what I mentioned. David Eister. Yeah, so if you guys are from Australia, if you're getting used to boxing, don't use sports bet. I'm just used to it. Because I know on a lot of your betting apps, you guys could, like, your parlay won't lose if it's a draw. You could have like a 5-legger, you pick a fighter to win on the money line, and it's a draw, and your parlay is still active. Not down here. A parlay would scratch it. I thought you liked to lose this fight. I misspoke on that live stream. If you would have stayed tuned in, I fixed it. No, I misspoke because the prop says, will the fight go the distance? No, 275. I brought this up yesterday, and I corrected myself after after Muscles asked me. So yeah, to clarify, I like the fight not to go the distance. It's always iffy with these girl fights, though, guys. You know that. I mean, everybody could sit here and say they saw Sky getting a stoppage against Campos, but who would have picked that? Zapeda to be knocked down 275. I like a knockdown prop bet in that fight. The prop I like in the Shakur fight. I got Shakur by decision at $1.50. He's $1.11 on the money line. So I do have props working. I like Puello versus Matias, a prop. Will the fight go the distance? Yes, at $1.80. And then I currently have Morell on another prop at $1.72 to win by stoppage. Rod Rivas, Yeah, Alicia's always in tip top. She's born in Ohio. She doesn't rep Ohio, though. Yeah, I'm a simple guy. I don't get fancy. Guys, if you're struggling to join the Johnny Says Boxing Insider, go to my page and where it says just how people regularly just hit subscribe to a channel, it should give you an option to say join. Just look for the option to say join. It's a couple bucks a month. If you could afford it, I really appreciate it. My lock has been no knockdowns. Good. Historically speaking, it's a great bet. I know a guy, Rod Riva, PEDs, Team Bam Bam Ortiz. I mean, we talked about it, Bam Bam. I talked about it on my first live stream. Our sport is dirty, guys. I don't think anybody's going to sit here and lie to each other and say that boxing's a clean sport. The problem with it is that there's so many promotional companies. There's different drug testing options. There's no and the consequences. If there were consequences, but then again, there's also false testing. So it's a slippery slope on how to deal with it. Jacques Cousteau, appreciate you. Welcome to Boxing Insider. Awesome. I like all the knockdown options on FanDuel, but once they set the lines up, I don't understand how they do the lines. They're still fighting, Bam Bam. As of right now, Morell versus Katiev is still on. Eister, I don't know how they do those props, mate. Jacques Cousteau in the house. And I know we've had a lot of back and forth with Berlanga versus Shiraz. Some of the boys are leaning Berlanga, which I am. Some of the boys are leaning Shiraz. If you want to watch that, if you're picking Shiraz, are you picking Shiraz to win a decision or to stop him? If you're picking Berlanga to win, are you picking him to win a decision or to stop him? My point is, there's a juicy prop bet at $1.95 for the fight not to go the distance. So if you want to boxing fan, if you want to watch that fight, Shiraz versus Berlanga, with kind of, if you want to bet on that fight with kind of hedging your bet per se, to where the only way you lose is if it goes to a decision, I love this prop bet. I'm this close from calling it my lock of the week. It would be a ballsy lock of the week, but $1.95 for Shiraz and Berlanga not to go the distance, because in my eyes, I'm picking Berlanga. I already picked him on a parlay. I picked him to stop Shiraz, okay? But I feel if Shiraz beats him, Shiraz is going to stop Berlanga. So my point is, that prop bet for the fight not to go the distance at $1.95, I'm all over. So I would check your books if you like it. I should also mention, though, in my breakdown, if Shiraz wants to win a smart and intelligent fight, he fights Berlanga from the outside. He uses his jab, uses his movement. I just don't know if Shiraz is going to do that. Will, what's your opinion on that, Will? So we have to ask ourselves, if you guys are, interested in betting on that fight, I think Canelo would stop Shiraz. We got that coming up, Ricardo. Usyk versus Duba is coming up. Dude, guys, these fights are tough to call. I'm glad I have an educated chat. I'm glad I have an educated subscriber base, because we're getting a lot of tough fights to call. Guys like myself, guys like Gary, other channels who put the work in and watch film, we do our best, but shit, man, you never know sometimes. So we all have to have our own logical reasoning. So I always side with my logic. Canelo doesn't knock anyone out anymore. Yeah. We're going to see Shiraz's durability. You can't bet on a fight to not go the distance. Okay. Why? Why can't you, Dave? Both got power, but they could just try points win. Uh-huh. So, I do have a knockdown prop. Guys, quick question. I don't know if Goat's on the live. Did any of you guys partake in our long parlay for July that started at the July 1st with the Jack Catterall card? Did anybody? Because I posted mine and mine's still live. So I'll go over let me do that real quick. This is already on the page. But my long parlay, this was at the beginning of the month of July. We did our long parlay. Yeah, you got to update it, bro. So if you're struggling to subscribe, you got to update it. Ricardo, the WNBA. I was clowning you a couple days ago, but some of the boys hit me up after. If you're making money on the WNBA, keep after it. I only got so many hours in the day, though. So my July long parlay, the way it sits right now, I had Jack Catterall beating Eubanks, so I'm live. So Catterall, it could get toasted though on Saturday. Catterall, Serrano, Puello, Stevenson, Berlanga, and then I took Dubois to beat Usyk, Pacheco, Fundora, Bam, Barrios, Xander, Taraji. So we'll see. We'll see. I was watching Usyk today on his Instagram. He peeled his shirt and he was training and he put up a photo. Man, he's not the youngest. He's not 33-year-old Usyk anymore. I think I'm not gonna be shocked if Dubois stops him. I'm just saying that. I'm not, dude. You get a guy who's confident now in Duba, 3 straight fights, looking good, confident, swag. He probably has the weirdest shit talk game though. Like his shit talk game is bizarre. It's kind of like, yeah, he's a bit of an odd guy, but he could crack. I know. I'm not guaranteeing it, but go to Usyk's Instagram right now, guys, and so if you go to, I am, just so you guys know, I am learning this software that I could, because I'm an old head, I bring it up every live stream because you guys ask me. So when I figure out this software, we could see the Instagram together on my screen. But right now, I don't really know how to use it. But if you go to Usyk's Instagram, he looks old. It looks to me like Usyk got old overnight. Go to his Instagram right now. Usyk in the face and in the upper body, he looks like he got old overnight. I don't know how else to explain it. And Dubois is 26, 27 years old, dude. Hits like a goddamn truck, natural heavyweight, confident. I think he could stop Usyk. That's all I'm saying. Hot take. We'll see. That's not my official prediction, though. Not my official. No way. But anything could happen at the heavyweight level. Anything could happen with the big boys. So let's check. Did you guys see Bam Rodriguez's statement? So Jesse made a statement about that the news overlooking Cafu. He was pissed at it. He said nobody talked to him about it. We're talking about how they announced Bam's next fight against Puma. Yeah, I could cash out too, right? I think it's like 1470. Yeah, my cash out says 49.98. Usyk not losing to DDD. I don't know, mate. I don't know. We'll see. Also, if we want to play the reasoning game, Usyk lost to Sean Porter in the amateurs. That's all I'm going to say. Usyk lost to 5'5" Sean Porter from Northeast Ohio in the amateurs. Daniel Dubois has never been 5'5". I think Dubois went from like 7 years old to 6'4". I think Father Time too, mate. If I had to, I don't like. I swear Usyk got old over. That's what I'm banking on. He doesn't look. I think he's had a lot of miles on him. I think Dubois is gonna stop him. As of now. Also because I have him on my parlay at the beginning of the month. So I got to start convincing myself. Dude, and Dubois dude, this is the best version. He's not even in his physical prime yet. Zerto Mobili Usyk on one slip. Yes. Anonymous Gaming, haven't seen you in a while. What's up, buddy? Yeah, we know how the story goes. We know the paths to victory. I think though that since they last fought, things have happened. Shiraz 1 through 6. Get your money, Julius. Get your money. What's that paying? No, don't listen to me right now. No, we're just shooting the shit. Oscar from the Bay, go to the channel where you joined regularly when you subscribed. There should be an icon that says join or Boxing Insider or member VIP, something like that. Boxing fan, you want to jump in here and help? I'm taking no distance. Yeah, I'm not giving you my guys, you know by now my official predictions don't happen until fight week. We're just getting the shit getting the shit talk stirring. But when I side with Usyk, obviously you have to side with the boxing skill, the fight IQ. We've never seen him get beat. So we don't know what that looks like. We saw Dubois lose to him. So I get all that. But at the same time, Dubois is a big boy. He's not even in his physical prime. We know how much psychology matters, especially for some reason with the heavyweights. Doesn't it almost seem like with young heavyweights, it's kind of like we're raising our sons? Like if you're old, I'm in my 40s. I watch think about Jared Anderson, or even when Deontay Wilder first lost. like you see it with the big boys when they lose. They kind of like revert back into like little, they revert back into being little boys, and you have to like, coach them up again. You don't see that in any other divisions. You know what I'm saying? You don't see like, we still haven't seen Jared Anderson since that loss. But what has he done since, though, Julius? What has Dubois done since? What do we say on the channel? What have you done for me lately? Let's see what Dubois has done since. 3-0, 3 stoppages. God damn, 6'5", dude. 3-0. He stops Jarrell Miller. He stops Hrgovic. He stops Anthony Joshua. Did he fight? Since the Usyk loss in 2023, he's 3-0 with 3 stoppages. And Usyk has fought Fury twice. Went 24 rounds with Fury. So since that Dubois win, Usyk has fought 24 rounds with Tyson Fury. Dubois has fought a total of 23 rounds. Stopping Jarrell Miller in the 10th. Yeah. Bricks, I saw that you think that Matias stops Puello. Is that right? Any Subaru Matias fans or bettors? Because, I'm a Subaru Matias fan, but I'm betting him to lose. So what I mean by that is anybody putting money on Matias to win, and if so, how does he do it? I did a 2-leg parlay, Shakur stoppage. Berlanga, oh shit, unwin Pulse. I love the odds, Pulse. I love the odds. Shakur by stoppage lately going around the internet is kind of like a sexy pick, but it's hard to see Zapeda getting stopped. I do see a path to victory by stoppage by Shakur. Uses countering, uses timing, work the body early, and catch Zapeda coming in. The safer bet for me, which I've taken, was, the fight to go the distance and Shakur decision. But I know a lot of big-time bettors who are betting that bet. I also have Berlanga to win as well, but on my parlay that I have a 2-leg where I put a lot of money on. I just have Berlanga on the money line, but on a method of victory parlay, I sprinkled some on him by stoppage too. Also, I like the fight not to go the distance. But Shakur hand injury. Guys, all boxers have injuries though. I guarantee there isn't one boxer that you name that goes into a fight 100%. No fighter is 100%. Carlos Vargas always hyping the channel up. I appreciate you. I do love the bet pulse, though, unwin pulse, because the odds are so tasty. So you can take those 2 method of victory, sprinkle $10, $25 on it, and if it hits, you're out here eating. So yeah, I like it. Risk versus reward. The reward, and this is if you're betting for entertainment, guys, you want to find bets like that where the reward is so big and the risk really isn't that big. If you could get a big comeback, a big return. And if you lose, it's kind of like, we move on. So it just depends on what type of gambler you are. Are you a guy who's going to sprinkle a little bit onto for entertainment? And Daniel Vega, it's funny you say that. Guys, 30 minutes into the live stream. I'm doing a live tomorrow with Muscles Brown. So it's going to be this time tomorrow for right now, and it's going to be his 10 o'clock at night, Thursday night. So Muscles is going to come on the live stream because him and we went back and forth on a couple picks to where we're not agreeing, which is fine. Boxing fans, my guy. Appreciate you. Harunian's a good boxer, though, guys. Artem, dude, watch Artem's mixtape. Go to Artem Harunian. People act like he wasn't an Olympian. Artem Harunian knows how to fight. Bolanga over 10. Ooh, that's a risky one. I bet you that's paying a lot, isn't it? Berlanga over 10. Okay, this is something, Julius, that I've talked about in my breakdown. Is that I don't know. I know where this narrative happened. I know when the narrative started with Shakur. It started after the De Los Santos fight. But it's weird how the whole boxing community ran with it. and you with your comment, and no shade on you, Julius, but Shakur's not a runner. He's not a back foot fighter. Watch Shakur's highlights. Watch how Shakur boxes. Shakur is a front foot fighter. It's how he fights. He counters, and he's slick in the pocket. He has good defense. He fought that against Edwin. What I think was what makes sense to me is obviously he was spooked by that power, and he couldn't stop him. So what Shakur does well is fights on the front foot and uses that to stop his opponent's pressure coming forward. And so all of a sudden he's a runner is insane to me. Like that's a fake narrative. Shakur's not a runner. He's a front foot fighter. Watch all of his fights. And this is also a kid who started tiny. He's filled out 26, 30. I think he stays. We had a chat yesterday. I think 30. I think he should stay at 35. 35 seems like the weight class for him. Because I don't think he would fare too well at 40. You figure the power didn't come with him from 30 to 35. He was stopping guys at 26. He was stopping guys at 30. He stopped stopping guys at 35. I don't think it'd be a wise move, even if he, became undisputed. I don't think so. I don't think he should fight at 47, mate. Koki, that's wild. Koki, that's you know what? I'm not even laughing at that, mate. All things considered, you a wild boy for saying that. But Rando in the house. What up, player? Playo fight over 5. What are your locks? Chivo, you got to go to the my post section for my locks. Chivo. The lock of the week, and upset of the week. We talked about the upset. Yeah, got to hit the 2 lives, boys. Dude, we got a busy week of boxing. So people were like Matias by stoppage. I mean, if you're gonna lean on Matias, that's the way to go. I disagree. As of now, the Morell fight is still on. I like Fundora over Zoo as of now. And Puello. Yeah, I didn't like Shiraz's body language. Puello's a big dude. I don't think people realize how much he cuts. I'm staying away from the Baron fight. Johnny taking Puello 5, Shakur over. I like it. Rando, I like those picks. Rando, could you text me? Could you type that in one of our posts on the channel so I could share that, Rando Light? I like those picks. I have something similar, but hey, boys, if you have action right now, you've already made your parlays, go to my page and type them in a message, in a comment, and at me, and then I'll reshare it because some of you guys have really good picks. I want to see I want to have it on my page so everybody could revisit this chat. Erdenbot. Carlos got 6. I got 5 of them working. Gary has like 12 working right now. He's insane. Vladimir. That's going to be a good fight. I think it's 50-50 right now. Vladimir and Varon. Morell fight. Well, the Morell fight has been taken off if you haven't got action on it yet. I got action on it earlier in the week, and it's still live. But I think they're kind of limiting bets based on that news, and they're waiting to see what the New York State Athletic Commission is going to do. As of right now, I've been paying attention to the ticker boxing. The fight's still on. That's what. So, are you guys getting odds on the Pro Box card? We could go there if you want. Eister, do you know these fighters? All right, chat. Anybody here know all these guys fighting on this Pro Box card? Oh, that's nice, Koki. I gave the booze up too, mate. Okay, so I think the Pro Box card is that Tam Thibault versus Casamassa. My favorite lock of the week. I'm posting it. I'm posting my lock in the upset and my parlay on our channel. Carlos Boteris. Yeah, dude, I'm not messing with that Pro Box card, guys. I'm not messing with that Pro Box card. I got to keep all my mind on the girls and the guys. The girls, I got Serrano on the money line. I also have a knockdown prop on the girls. People it's good odds. I need one knockdown in Serrano versus Taylor. I also like Sharita Metcalf by upset. I'm not counting out Berlanga. I got Berlanga winning. I think that the trajectory of Shiraz, if you guys tune into our debate on Gary's channel, you guys don't remember this. All the talk with Hamzah Sheeraz was supposed to be undisputed at 160. The talk was never move up to 168. It wasn't until he moved up to 168, then all the people were like, oh, he's now training with Andy Lee. Oh, he was cutting too much weight. It's like, what happened to all that trash talk about 160? Oh, what happened to him ducking Alam Hanalei? You know, he took the Adames fight, but he got the contract to fight Janabek Alam Hanalei, and he was like, I'm good on that. So there's just the way Shiraz operates, I'm just not a fan of it. Also, his performance against Ammo, I don't think that is a career-defining performance. I think Ammo's 154 at best. Manny versus Barrios, somebody's asking me about. Guys, if you're gambling, if anybody on this stream makes money legitimately gambling, I'd like them to sell me on why they would bet on Manny. Because I think that's a sucker bet, guys. And that's no shade towards Barrios or Pacquiao. I think that's a sucker bet. What's up, DJ? Yeah, but I mean, how does somebody think Manny wins that fight? I'm not betting on that fight, by the way. It's like people who bet on Jake Paul fights. I'm not betting on that fight. Shakur and Zapeda both will want to hit the body early. It should be fun. I think Shakur is going to fight him on his front foot. I think he's going to use his jab and his countering to keep him at bay, to control the distance. I don't think Zapeda doesn't have the power to get Shakur's respect like De Los Santos got his respect. Yeah, DJ, I'm on board with you, mate. I think it's a sucker bet, and it's not like if you bet on the fight, you're a sucker. I just think that like the bookies make these odds kind of on purpose. Las Vegas is filled with big buildings, casinos, and lights for a reason, not because people are winning. Zapeda is tailor-made. I love the matchup against Shakur, right? I agree. I got Serrano beating Taylor. He fought life and death against Abel, mate. Abel Ramos. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Fucking Abel Ramos. Statistically speaking, Shakur versus Zapeda does go the distance. I mean, look how they fight. That statistically speaking, that would be the safe bet. I have Shakur by decision at $1.50. I don't want to offend anybody by calling that a lock, but I'm really comfortable with Shakur beating Zapeda by decision. I don't see Zapeda getting stopped. That's the crazy thing. People are like, that's the sexy pick that's kind of going around, that Shakur is going to stop Zapeda. I mean, Zapeda's fucking... Are we forgetting, like, this guy is a tough as nails, undefeated Mexican fighter? You're going to have to hit Zapeda with everything to stop him. I think Shakur wins a decision. I think that's a safe bet. I mean, Shakur at $1.50 by decision, I think is great value, guys. I could see the path to victory on a body shot, But I'm talking like you put 10 grand. Imagine this, guys. This is what I'm asking. You put 10 grand. You put 10 grand on Shakur to win a decision. You get your money back plus 5 grand. You know what I mean? That I know people who bet this way. Some of the biggest gamblers I know bet this way. But if you were to bet that 10 grand Shakur by stoppage, I think you would triple. It's probably 4-1. It's such a riskier bet. So it just really depends on how much money you're wagering, what sort of bettor you are. Is it just entertainment, dude? Take Shakur by stoppage, take either Bolanga or Shiraz by stoppage, and take Serrano by the money line. It just depends on what you're trying to do. Are you trying to win? Are you trying to win money? Are you trying to bankroll people? Like, there's all these. You got to ask yourself these questions. But I think the smart, safe, value bet is Shakur by decision. That's all I'm saying. Johnny, your last 5 posts. Abel Ramos. Yes, I agree. Pitbull's very much overrated. I do agree. I don't know why everybody like. I understand he's marketable, and he seems like a really nice young man. 25, 26, 27, young father. I respect the hell out of him. Former champion. But there is this sort of sector online who think that Pitbull Cruz is like, Mike Tyson. And it all comes down to he drew with Tank. I really think that it's because he drew with Tank, right? Because when I see Pitbull, I see a lot of holes in his game. I mean, it's not breaking news that Pitbull is pretty unorthodox. And, exactly. I know guys who bet 10 grand who don't have a bankroll of a mil. I know some really ingenious bettors who bet 10 grand and don't have a bankroll of a mil. It just like you could take a 10 grand bet and win. Like, the least I would do. Somebody on the chat yesterday was like, dude, should I bet 5,000 to win 200? And I was like, hell no, that's a stupid bet. $5,000 to win $200, risk versus reward, hell to the no. But I do know guys who could spin 10 grand, who could flip 10 grand over a couple fights. That's where the slickness comes into play with who you bet, how you bet, method of victories, styles on styles. You're not always going to get it right, but there's some guys who have like an 80% hit rate who are big bettors. And, not every bettor, I don't know many guys who gamble who have $1 million bankroll. Once you start getting in the millies, you should probably be investing in, properties and, other sort of, long-term investments rather than like fucking gambling. But anyway, Pitbull, yeah, I think we're allowed to say guys are overrated, aren't we? This channel, you're not going to get too much hate if you say someone's overrated. This is a very educated chat here. I think, you know what? Maybe it's not that Pitbull's overrated. Maybe it's just a testament to how passionate his fan base is. And I can respect that. He has a passionate-ass fan base. I can respect it. And you know what? He fights very bravely. It's not like he goes in there and has this fan base and fights cowardly. He fights very bravely. So that being said, he's just not the most skilled guy, I guess. And he's small. He's short. Yeah, I think I'm really happy with the play of victory over Matias. I'm very comfortable. I'm more nervous about Berlanga versus Shiraz. I think I'm looking at Playo. I'm like, we're eating. That's Playo by decision. We eating. That's $1.80. Guys, Playo by decision? Come on. I love that bet. I don't think Fierro gets stopped. Ricardo Val is out here dropping heat. I placed 30 different parlays with various boxers on Otan. This cat is wild. Good luck, baby. Bolanga by yeah. Oh yeah, you're talking about the hip thrust? Yeah. I'm not disagreeing with you that. Julius, you bring up a good point. Happy Wednesday, 40 minutes in the sauna. Styles, make sure you hydrate, mate. Make sure you hydrate. Proteins and fats as well, brother. What's up, Amanda? Yep, what's up, Nathan? I like Amanda. Puyo. Bro, I like those. Like I said, if you guys want me to share your tickets, your parlays, type them in a comment on my channel and then at me, and then I'll repost them so we could save them on our post section. And if you guys are Boxing Insider VIPs, then you'll be able to see them on the VIP list as well. That mink. Yeah, Berlanga's a maniac. He ducks. Yeah. And you know what? And if you're time poor, if you don't have that, Gatorade. It's what Gatorade was invented for. If you're dehydrated. You know, I try to stay pretty hydrated. I try to avoid any sort of, I don't know the last time I had a Gatorade. But if you're looking for, like, answers to fix the hydration, and if you're doing saunas, if you're used to it, you have your own system. You know what time it is. I'm taking Puyo because on this one, Matias scares me. I don't think Matias scares me. Guys, I don't think Matias scares me. The thing about Matias... Yeah. Could somebody explain to me, I've seen this brought up a couple times on the chat, who's getting criticized on the Spanish podcasts? Is that Matias or is that Puyo? Because I've seen you guys going back and forth. Somebody said something on a Spanish podcast. What is this insider information I'm seeing right now? I think you guys were talking about Puyo and Matias. Because I was watching both of those guys today, and Puyo just looks big. Matias is the one who's sweating to cut. Go to Matias's Instagram right now. After they did their press obligations, he was in the sauna sweating. Puyo got blasted for... Well, he's just a big dude. I mean, you could say what you want. Everybody has to cut weight. Matias cuts a lot of weight. Vargas in the house. There we go. Berlanga money line, Puyo decision, Shakur decision, Morell money line. Let's go. From the Bay. From Diego to the Bay. I like those bets, Carlos. I like those bets. Tech 9 in the house. I'm nervous on that Berlanga fight. Yeah, that's the fight I'm nervous on too, Chivo. I'm nervous on the Berlanga fight. I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable with Puyo, mate. I think Puyo... Another thing about Alberto Puyo is, you know, he could punch. He could punch. He doesn't have as many knockouts. And when you look at the type of puncher Matias is, he's not a one-punch knockout guy. Matias is a volume-heavy puncher, an accumulative puncher. He has that thudding power to where, we talked about this earlier, and I brought this up on my breakdown, is that when you watch Matias gets a lot of his late-round stoppages, he catches his opponents standing in front of him, trading with him. And it's almost like in rounds 1, 2, 3, and 4, those punches don't hurt. You think, as Matias' opponent, you think you could take those punches. But then after 5, 6, they start adding up that volume, and that's when that thudding power gets dangerous. Because it's one of these arguments about MMA gloves and bare-knuckle fighting is that with the 4-ounce gloves, the MMA gloves, you might see more, we do see more one-punch knockouts. But the thing about that is, the layman might say, well, one-punch knockouts, that's much more dangerous for the fighter. It's actually not. It's with the bigger gloves in our sport where there's so much padding, it prevents a lot of one-punch knockouts, but you could be damaged and take way much more punishment, way more volume, way more output. And this is kind of what Matias does. And when you see guys who end up getting rushed to the hospital with, swollen, contusions on their brain, and some, fighters, pass away, it's never usually from a huge one-punch guy. It's from like an accumulation, a volume of punches. And that's what Matias does. And so, but the thing Puyo does, he's going to be better hand speed. He has good footwork. He uses the entire ring. He has a good jab. He could punch. And he's slick. And he's a southpaw. And we saw Matias struggle with Pero. I think if Puyo is smart, he's going to implement a similar game plan as Liam Pero did against Matias. I just think he's going to get hit a lot less than Pero got hit. Because Puyo has better feet than Pero. Apparel's world class, by the way. Don't sleep on Liam. Liam Kabak. Liam's a hell of a fighter. Shoot, David might be dirty. What's Nate Diaz say? They're all dirty. Nice. No, my girl doesn't. Ergashev ain't very good, if we're being honest. He doesn't have a lot of great wins on his resume. Nobody talks about that. I mean, what's Matias's wins? Okay. I didn't see anything about the ring size. Shukambayev is pretty good, though. I know people always talk about that Akhmedov. Now, with Puello, you could talk about that Akhmedov fight where he won a split decision. People say he lost that fight. You could talk about... He wins a lot of close decisions. You know, the close decisions against Sandor Martin, the close decision against GAR. You could talk about he failed a drug test. He was supposed to fight Rolly Romero and then had a bit of a suspension. So Puello's not sort of like... I still think the jury is out on the universal mindset of how good Alberto Puello is. But for me, from what I've seen, I think he's really good. I was really, really impressed with how he operated against Russell, and I was impressed with how he operated against Martin. Yeah, but guys, it was an infertility drug. But if you hang out in football locker rooms, I grew up playing sports. I grew up with gearheads, dude. I had it when I was playing baseball in Myrtle. I lived in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, from 2001 to 2003, just for the summer playing baseball. And one of my roommates down in Myrtle Beach, what was his name? He was from West Virginia. He would make steroids in our kitchen. He got a certification to pretend that he was a farmer. And then in South Carolina, if you're a farmer, you could apply. This was in 2001. You could apply on some like agricultural website for these horse sort of tablets that you would feed a horse. And then he would order these things. He would get coffee, old school coffee filters, and then he would crush the pellets up. He would add some oil. He would bake it, and then he would take whatever that baked stuff was and drip it through these coffee filters, and then it would go into a syringe. And he was making by scratch a steroid called Phenoplex. It was called Phenoplex. And I remember I was like, bro, his name was Big Nick Thompson. I'm sure if you Google him, he died of a heart attack when we were 26. He died of a heart attack. I knew him when I was 20 and 21. Big Nick died of a heart attack when we were 26. My point was, to prevent himself from getting bitch tits, he would take Clomid. So Clomid is the anti-estrogen blocker that guys who do steroids take so they don't get bitch tits. So when you see this is why they test for Clomid. This is why it's on the ban list. This is why it's on the PED list. Because it's a lot of drugs that they test for, and USADA, WADA, VADA, and all the testing commissions aren't necessarily for exogenous testosterone or HGH. They're looking for sort of things like Clomid. Like, why are you taking this? It's an estrogen blocker. So I don't get. So when Puello said he was on it, he said him and his wife were trying to get pregnant. Make whatever you want to make out of it. But when you see guys taking it, it's like, oh, bro, you're covering up your cycle. So that's that. That's exactly what Aman Khatiev got popped for too. Aman Khatiev popped for the same exact thing. Yeah, homemade steroids is mad crazy work, mate. And the crazy thing is, it was like I was living with my Italian grandma. I go to my, rest in peace, Grandma Jenny. But every time I go to my Italian grandma's house, Johnny, are you hungry? Do you want to eat this? Johnny, I know you're hungry. It's like, bitch, you just fed me. I just ate lasagna. I just ate pasta. I just ate, cannolis. Every time I'd be around Nick, he's like, Johnny, man, you want a shot? Johnny, you would like this. You get big like me. I was like, dude, no, man, get out of here. Get out of here. So I've dealt with gearheads my whole life. No offense to anybody on it, man. I'm not judging anybody. But coming up, man, dudes would try to push that shit on all of us all the time. But yeah, so when I hear Clomid, Clomazine, Clomifene, it used to be Clomid. It's an anti-estrogen blocker. Exactly. Boxing fan. We call, guys on steroids, boxing fan growing up, We call them popcorn muscles. Cat be like, oh, that dude's just popcorn. Meaning that you put it in a microwave. You put a microwave popcorn in the mic, and they just blow up like that. So we always would call them cats popcorn. They always punch like this too. They just sneak a jab right there. All right, guys, we are approaching an hour. Matias is a more damaging puncher. GAR is more accurate. Yeah, but GAR. Oh, we're talking GAR versus Matias. Ooh, I think. Yeah, we go on little guys. We go on little side tangents out here. We keep it functional like the first 20 minutes, and then after the 20 minutes, it's the Wild West. So yeah, I'm glad you appreciate the little side stories. I've lived. I mean, the older you get, you'll have more stories, right? Lewis sounds generic, but whatever helps you sleep at night. Peace. Yeah, I think GAR would destroy Subaru. I just think GAR would piece him apart. His hand speed's insane. Yeah, Pryor versus Arguello. It wasn't the only time, though, with Panama Lewis. It wasn't. It was multiple times with Panama. I don't know if we could say Matias is going to lose the first round because if you look at how Puello fights, Puello was down 3-1 against GAR. Antoine Russell was winning the first part of that fight. And then Sandor Martin, Puello had to come back in that fight too. So I don't know if we could just say he's going to win round one. Puello makes good adjustments in the ring. I'd love to see the rematch. Maybe we will see it. I mean, it's awesome to see right now they're both champions. Yeah, he is. And Russell's more dynamic. He's a real high level operator. He could punch too. I don't even know if I would give Matias the power advantage. I mean, he has more knockouts, but this version of Antoine Russell is him at his best. I want to see Russell active, though. I think if we could see Gary Antoine Russell like 3 times a year, 3 times a year for the next few years, I'd be happy. But, I mean, does he have a fight? I mean, I was shocked that we got to see him twice in a calendar year. Seeing him go from Puello to Rayo, I was like, holy shit. You don't think his power is that great? Are we forgetting this is also a guy who was 17-0 with 17 knockouts? What do you know? He could crack. The thing where his power comes from is his accuracy, his timing. He high level puncher, high level boxer. That dude could box. Like I said, I was shocked we got to see him twice in a calendar year. So at 140. I want to see unification fights. You think he's going to be less active? I hope not. You'd have to think his brother's fighting. Why does his brother all of a sudden come out of retirement? He wants some of that. He wants some of that Saudi money. I'd love to see Hiroka versus Russell. I thought Ramos was going to leave. Ramos didn't. Damn, man, I hate when fighters get shelved. This happened to Crawford when he was younger. It happens with so many fighters. They just get shelved for some reason. You can't get them fights. Russell versus Teo. I'm not that high on Teofimo, to be honest with you. He's a good athlete. I mean, he's just too unpredictable. I mean, obviously he's capable of beating Russell, but he's so unpredictable, man. He's a weirdo. Like Teofimo Lopez, get your shit together. Damn, he frustrates me because he's so talented. Anybody who would say he's not talented, they're just smoking weed. But Teo is a gifted athlete, gifted boxer. He just frustrates the shit out of me. The same way, like, Tank Davis is a weirdo. I talked about this. The same way Tank is a weirdo, Teofimo's a weirdo. It's like they frustrate the shit out of me. We don't even talk about Tank anymore, mate. No, I know. I want to, like, Teo needs a big brother or a dad. I know he has a father. But somebody would be like, bro, you have this small window to be these small. We only have these little amount of years when you're young, when you're operating at a world-class level as a fighter. He's in that right now. He is active, though. He's being more active than some of the other guys. I mean, it's great watching him fight. He's had a couple. He's just here for me. He's here for me. I know. That's what I mean, DJ. It's like, you don't need to do all that, bro. You don't need to. What do the young kids say? You're doing too much. You're doing too much. But yeah, Tank is a weirdo, guys. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Fingers crossed we got David Morell and Kataev. Stay tuned to the channel, guys. I have I got a box here in an hour, and then I'm gonna power lift. Yeah, we ain't dick riding. We don't dick riding. Steve Claggett can fight. I think Steve Claggett has a fight against. Isn't he fighting Jermaine Ortiz? Steve Claggett might be fight, or did they already fight? I know Claggett fought Teo. Jermaine fought Teo. Who's Claggett just signed a fight? Ramos had 3 fights in the last year. Yeah, so I thought he had a fight. Claggett could fight. We haven't seen Jermaine Ortiz by stoppage. He hasn't really stopped anyone lately, has he? Yeah, I'm not all about. We're talking about purses, fingernail polishes, paint nail. Our world has changed, boys. Our world has changed, guys. I gotta run. Stay tuned to the channel. We are going live tomorrow morning. We go live every day. Like this, subscribe. Johnny says Boxing Insider. It's a new option. Carlos Vargas, go to my channel. Right where you subscribed, it says join. And if you need to update your app, update your YouTube apps, guys. Come on, do the updates. Update the YouTube app, join. I'll be giving you guys some lock of the week, upset of the week, as well as posting more and more content. And as this thing grows, you guys are going to be able to, I'll be able to do personalized content as well. Stay tuned for more updates. I'll see you in the morning. Let's get after it. Bang, let's go.